Well, hello, good afternoon, everyone. We are so glad that you are here. We have some fun in store for the next hour, hour and a half or so. So we hope that you're ready to have some fun. We hope that you have your pre-cut DIY build kit. And we hope that you have all the tools that you need to get started with your DIY kit build today. But before that, we want to make sure that we share some information with you about Women Build. Happy International Women's Week, everyone. If you don't know anything about Women Build Week or Women's Week, there's a lot of information on our website, but we are just so thrilled to have this week to celebrate women, to celebrate the way that we as women and men can celebrate and empower and build up and encourage other women on their journey, specifically with Habitat on their journey to homeownership and a better financial future for themselves and their families and for generations to come. So you are part of something really special today, and I just want to extend my happy International Women's Week to you, to each of you. So it wouldn't be a Women Build event if I didn't say thank you to some really special sponsors that have made these events possible and who will make our build possible starting on April the 9th. Mr. Cooper Group, thank you so much. Hilti, Next Bank, Tollison, Mentor More, Iberia Bank, and First Horizon, and of course, our friends at Lowe's. And actually, Lowe's is our sponsor for today specifically. They are huge sponsors, huge supporters of International Women Build Week. That's my friend Venezuela right there. She came out onto the build site last year. She was one of the only volunteers that got to build on the build last year, but Lowe's supports 300 Habitat affiliates across US, Canada, and India, and they have contributed $78 million to Women Build through International Women Build Week. They're the sponsor of today's event, and they have supported 17,000 families across the United States. So, hey, Lowe's, y'all are doing a great job, and we're so excited that you're part of our Women Build as well. It is my pleasure now. We haven't met Jolie in this Women Build version format just yet. Jolie Robinson is our VP of Government Affairs and Advocacy. And Jolie is going to share a little bit of information with us about Cost of Home, which is an advocacy program across the nation with Dallas Habitat and also with Habitat International. So Jolie's going to share a little bit of information about that and a little bit of information about how COVID and the pandemic and just this affordable housing conversation impacts women specifically. So Jolie, it's my pleasure to be your colleague, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Carmen. I mean, if you're out there in the virtual world, you could still give a huge round of applause for Carmen and all the work that she's done. I really appreciate the opportunity to come to everyone today and talk a little bit about the Cost of Home campaign, talk about advocacy in this space. So thanks for joining us. Again, thank you to Carmen. A big hello to everyone out there that's joined us today for this amazing pep rally. In my role as the VP of Government Affairs and Public Policy, it has been a great opportunity to advocate for the actions and policies at the local, state, and federal level that impact our current and future Habitat families. Advocacy is all about changing systems, policies, and even the perceptions to achieve decent housing for all. Our Dallas affiliate, as Carmen mentioned, has been able to be a part of the nationwide Cost of Home efforts. The Cost of Home campaign focuses on 4 main policy areas: increasing the supply and preservation of affordable homes, advocating for equitable access to credit, optimizing land use for affordable homes, and developing and increasing access to communities of opportunity. Those are awesome things, heavy lifting nonetheless, but these are amazing things that can help us continue to do the work that we do. These efforts are critically important to ensure we can continue serving in our communities and supporting vibrant neighborhoods. It's not just about building a home, but it's about the entire neighborhood and community. The pandemic has made it clearly evident that we must get a significant handle on our ability to push for policies at all levels of the government that support our families. These policy efforts focus on making affordable home ownership a very real possibility for all families, including single mothers with children. Single mothers with children just happens to be a significant portion of our Habitat families. As research has shown, the COVID pandemic has dealt a huge blow to working women, as it has impacted childcare and school systems, and these mothers and mothers everywhere have had to make some really difficult decisions in doing what was necessary to continue caring for their families. As the Brookings Institute mentions, COVID-19 has upended the labor market with disastrous consequences for working women and their families. So, thank you for your continued support in our efforts to serve our Dallas area Habitat current and future homeowners. Please continue to support our work and also advocate on behalf of families to ensure they can fully realize their dream of home ownership and raising their families. At Dallas Area Habitat, we focus on engaging our elected officials in an effort to further create affordable housing options for all families. So, some things you can do. Write, email, call your elected officials and ask that they make affordable housing a priority. If you're on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, you can take a look at the hashtag cost of home posts from not only our affiliate, but from across the country, and help us elevate the conversation about the huge need for affordable housing. We also have resources on our advocacy page of our DallasAreaHabitat.org website that goes into a deep dive into the affordable housing conversation as a whole. Well wishes to you all, and a huge round of applause to Liz and Carmen and her team for putting this all together. Thank you.
Thanks, Jolie, and thanks for those really important words. There's so much more where that came from, y'all. There's so much that can be done in the advocacy space. We're raising funds for not only a new construction project for Tracy, whom we're so excited we get to meet in just a second. We're also helping with supporting and empowering neighborhoods, and advocacy is a big, huge part of that. We have to teach our families how to be terrific advocates for themselves, how to have a voice in their local municipal governments. And Jolie's job is a big one. It's a big lift, but we can all help her by writing, emailing, contacting our local officials and saying, hey, affordable housing is a really important conversation, and I'd like to know where you stand on that. So thanks so much in advance for that. Cost of home, that is the advocacy campaign that really Habitat all across the nation is putting their advocacy efforts behind. So we'd love for you to be a part of that. Okay, now it is my pleasure to introduce our vice chair for this year, Martina McIsaac. Unfortunately, our chair has lost her voice. She has laryngitis, and she earned the laryngitis by having a really big, huge leadership council over the past week at her own company. While Kellyanne is voiceless, she is here in spirit, and she will be here with us through the DIY project because she doesn't have to talk to run a drill, right? So thanks very much to each of them for being here. And Martina, thank you so much for stepping in and speaking for both you and Kellyanne.
That's okay. You know, Kellyanne says we speak with one voice when we speak for the women of our community. So today we'll do that literally as well. So on behalf of Kellyanne and myself, thank you for being with us today. You know, I am the CEO of Hilti, who is a company that provides tools and software and services to the pro contractor. So I cannot think of a better way to end International Women's Week than to build with my tools and to be with you. So thank you for joining today. We have had such a great time over the last few weeks building towards our first build days and getting this campaign off the ground. We have literally touched hundreds of hearts across Dallas with these really engaging virtual events. So thank you for your participation. And more than just connecting with each other, we've learned a lot over these weeks. You know, we've learned just what Jolie was talking about. There are unique challenges that women face on their journey to home ownership. There is a lack of affordable housing inventory. Women have little or no access to credit sometimes, and they have difficulty building up savings because they are the single wage earner for their family. And that tells us why Dallas Habitat Women Build is so important. Because not only are we going to build an affordable home for a hardworking family, and I can't wait for you to hear Tracy's story, but we also will provide the funds for the financial and home buyer education program for women in the Dallas area, and we will support those neighborhood revitalization projects that are so critical. But at the end of the day, what are we at Dallas Women Build? We are a group of women who are forming a coalition together to raise other women up. We're wielding the paintbrushes, we're swinging the hammers, but we're also making a financial contribution to help someone else achieve their dream of home ownership. And it's not something that we're going to do on our own. We're going to do it together, but every one of us needs to take an action. And so as I sit here today, I kind of feel like we're coming to the end of the preseason, and the season is about to start, because as Carmen said, our season starts on April 9th when we start building Tracy's home. So we got to start putting some numbers up on the board. And there are so many ways that you can contribute personally to Habitat, and we'll hear a little bit about that later. But you can ask your company to sponsor this year's Women's Build. You can create a personal fundraising page, or you can ask a friend to help you raise funds, or form a team to raise funds together. And whatever size of gift you're comfortable with, every dollar matters and every dollar is appreciated. So my hope, and I join my voice to Kellyanne's, our hope is that if you're on the call today, you will take that extra step and make a contribution towards making this year's campaign successful, because this is one of the most exciting ways that we can help women in our community. So I hope you have your sleeves rolled up and your tools at the ready, and we're going to have some fun this afternoon, get our campaign kicked off and build some nice planters. And for now, I'll hand it back over to Carmen.
Thank you so much, Martina. Those are powerful words, and I'm so grateful for your passion and for Kellyanne's passion for this program. What a great way to just continue this message and to share the deep passion that we all have for Women Build. Okay, we promised an interview, a live conversation with Tracy, our new homeowner for Women Build 2021. I'm so excited to welcome Blaine Cowart, who is the Senior Director of Homeowner Services. She and her team get to work with fantastic families like Tracy all the time. And I'm so grateful that she's here with us, that Blaine's here, and also Tracy. They're gonna have just a quick conversation about what this journey has meant. And we're so excited to hear from Tracy. Tracy actually just ended her shift at work, and so she is coming to us live straight after work. So Tracy, thanks for making the time to be here. And Blaine, thanks for making the time to just make this an enjoyable interview and conversation with Tracy.
Carmen, it is my incredible pleasure to be here. First of all, thank you so much for having us here today. I am so excited to share one of our phenomenal home buyers with this group of amazing women here today. And her name is Tracy Garrison. As Carmen mentioned, Tracy, who you'll see here, hey Tracy, in her car. Hey, Tracy, first of all, I just have to start this by saying, shout out to you, Tracy, and to all of the hardworking women who are here today. Tracy is not just leaving work, she's actually still at work. She was supposed to be leaving work, but duty calls. And so we're going to talk a little bit about Tracy's story here today. But as you may be able to tell, Tracy is in her scrubs underneath that jacket. And Tracy is a healthcare hero. And so before we dig in today, Tracy, I just want to say on behalf of myself and all of us here today, thank you so much for everything you have done over the last year and everything you're doing in real time to keep us safe. We are so thankful for you and for all of your entire team.
Thank you.
It means a lot. And I know this is hard for you. You know, you're working a lot of shifts, you're working overtime. And so we just appreciate you making the time to join us here today. So welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
We're so excited to have you. Well, Tracy, I want to give you an opportunity before we dig into our discussion today to introduce yourself a little bit to the group. Can you tell us a little bit about you and your family?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Tracy Garrison. I'm 27. Like she mentioned, I work at Parkland. I'm a nurse at Parkland. I have 2 boys. I have Grayson, who just turned 3 over the weekend, and I have Marcus, who is 9. So they're really excited, especially Marcus. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, so both of your boys know about you buying a house.
Yes, the 3-year-old, he
Well,
not so
as
much,
as
but
you can.
the 9-year-old is really excited. He's very aware. When Porfirio sent us the properties, I took the 9-year-old with me, so he actually had some say so in which lot we chose. So he's been a part of the journey with me as well.
That's a big responsibility for 9 years old. I love it. So you're a single mom of 2 boys. That is
Yes,
amazing.
ma'am.
Tracy, we heard Jolie talk earlier about, the challenges obviously for this year for working women. And that's not even to mention working women in healthcare, right? Who have put
Yes,
everything
ma'am.
you all have on the line this year. And then, Martina shared with us too about some of the, challenges that are unique, not just to women, but specifically to single moms. And so I wonder if you can share with us, what about home ownership and owning your own house was appealing to you? What made you take the first step and come to Habitat?
I'm really big on stability, and for me, my children are the most important thing to me. And I feel like having stability growing up, it makes a big difference in, who they are when they become adults. And it's a really big part of growing up, having a home, a stable home, a safe home, somewhere to come home to. So me buying a home has always been a goal of mine, so I can have somewhere to give my children safe, that there's this mine. It's just us. So that was the most important thing for me.
Something that you didn't mention earlier, but I think it's really important for everybody to know, not only are you working all of these double shifts like you've been describing to us over the last few months and working overtime, but what else are you doing right now?
I'm in school
You're a
full
full-time
time
student.
also. Yes, so I'm currently at LVN. So they have bridge programs where you can bridge from LVN to RN to get your bachelor's degree in nursing. So I'm a full-time student also.
I do not, and a mom. I do not know how you do it. A full credit to you, Tracy. That is phenomenal. Well, and I think why that's so important, from what I hear you talking about with stability, right? And I think about you on your trajectory to becoming a certified nurse, right? And really attaining that goal for yourself. And then, of course, being a mother and wanting to provide that stability for your children, just to have that peace to know that your children are going to have a place where they can put down roots, right?
Yes,
And grow
it
up, and
is.
you're not having to worry about that. It's just one less thing to have
It
on your.
is.
Mhm.
It's really important for me.
So tell us a little bit about your process working with Dallas Habitat, right? You came to us, and of course, like everyone else, you started in our homeownership counseling program, working with your
Yes, ma'am.
counselor, Porfirio, who, his job is to help navigate you, guide you, educate you, and ultimately empower you to take this step when you're ready. And, for some who come through that program, you also are able to then progress on and buy a Habitat house, which you, of course, are in process of doing. Can you talk to us a little bit about what the process has been like working through counseling and completing the financial education?
Yes, so I actually started the process July of 2019. So it's been a long process, but Porfirio has been awesome. He's helped me the whole time. He's been there. I've met my goals, my deadlines, and everything. But he's really been, I know this is the women's bill, but he has been a really, really important aspect in my whole process with helping me and with my classics, explaining things. We email back and forth. He's been really, really awesome. But I was aware of, you know, the things you have to do to buy a house because I wasn't sure I was going to go through Habitat. So I was basically doing everything I needed to do with cleaning up my credit, building, having good credit. The class, when I started taking the classes with Habitat, it gave me more information and I learned more because I didn't really know the whole process. And like I mentioned before, buying a home was kind of intimidating for me at first. I knew I wanted to buy a home, but it can be intimidating for me. It was. So once I started the process with Habitat, it became less intimidating and I was more comfortable and I became more confident with each class that I took. And with the help of Porfirio, I'm more confident now. And I've also been talking to, you know, people like myself, my friends and everyone, letting them know like, hey, you can, the stuff I've learned from the classes, I've been passing on to them. So hopefully they'll start their journey also.
That's amazing. Tracy, I have so much to say about what you just shared with us. So first of all, let's come out and affirm something that I think is so important. To your point, yes, this is Women's Build. Yes, it's International Women's Week. Yes, we're all about women empowering women. But here's the truth. We need men to come alongside us in this journey. And we're going to hear from men today who are standing alongside us women who are saying, you know, stand up and support this community who really has a great need, but also a great drive. And so, you know, individuals like your counselor, Porfirio, woman or man, right? We need allies. We need allies who are going to stand next to us and support us along the way. And I also want to say, you know, to what you shared with us about the financial education component, to us, this is so key, right? Knowing that you mentioned for you, it felt like homeownership was an intimidating process. Well, I have news for you, Tracy. It is not just you. It is all of us. If you have been a first-time home buyer, scratch that. If you have been a home buyer, period, it can absolutely be an intimidating process. There is so much to learn, right? From the mortgage piece to understanding the dynamics of what your market is like, right? And then, of course, the financial aspect for you. What's affordable for me? And what do I feel comfortable with? And what do I need in a house? All of these factors are so important, and it can feel like a lot if you're just starting out on your own. And so we want to say, you know, first of all, thank you so much for paying it forward to others. You mentioned, you know, like you're taking this knowledge that you're gleaning from Habitat and you're sharing it with family and with friends and with coworkers. And that's how we really build a community of support for one another. So that's amazing that you're doing that. I really love that. Tracy, when you envision yourself getting your keys to your new house later this year, and it'll be here before you know it, how do you think that having this house is going to change your life and the life of your sons?
It will definitely change it for the better. I mean, as far as traditions, I know my family as a whole is really big on traditions. I'm the only girl. I have brothers, so I've always been the only girl. So, of course, traditions in the future will be held at my home whenever I purchase the home. But now, I mean, Christmas is coming up. I think we'll be moved in by Christmas. So this will be my first time hosting Christmas at my home, hosting Thanksgiving at my home. So it's really exciting for me. And in the future, you know, we can have birthday parties for my boys. They can have their parties at home. Or, you know, for Marcus, he's going to a new school, so he'll be making new friends. You know, he can have his friends come over and study or play or whatever they want to do. So it's really, really important for me and for my sons especially. For me, it's my kids. It's all about my kids. It's important for them. They'll have somewhere to always come home to, you know, so it's important for my kids.
There's nothing like that. You know, just knowing that you always have sort of a landing place, you know,
Yes.
when you're growing up, it's just
a safe space.
security net. Yeah. It's just a safe space. You and I were talking not too long ago, and I remember you telling me something, and I thought that this was so sweet. You were talking about how Marcus, your oldest son, is so excited about establishing some of your own family traditions, right? Like you've just mentioned, you have a lot of family traditions with your brothers and grown up, but Marcus has some plans of his own. What are some of the traditions that he's talking about starting?
I think Marcus is equally excited, if not more excited than I am. So Mondays, he's already designated that's macaroni Mondays. Taco Tuesday, we do anyway. So we'll just carry that on into our home. And Sundays on Sundays. So he wants ice cream Sundays every Sunday. Marcus is a really, he's exciting. He's my happy, he's down to do anything. He's really, really special.
He's such a sweetheart. I will tell you, everybody at Habitat that has met him, our hearts have just melted. He's a little man is what he is. He's so polite. He's so well-spoken for 9 years old. He's a little man.
Yes,
Sundays on Sunday. That's a slick move on his part.
Yeah, it is to get ice cream every Sunday. Exactly. Yeah, I told him.
But that's the special thing. That's the things that we are going to grow up one day and think about and hold and cherish. You know, those are the special memories that we make. And so the fact that you're able to give that to your sons is just so phenomenal. I'm so happy for you.
It means a lot. Yes, it means a lot.
I want to talk a little bit about you participating in this amazing initiative that I know you're so excited about, Tracy.
Yes.
So the house that you bought just so happened to be the house that we are building as a part of the Women Build 2021 initiative. Yes. Tell me from your perspective, why do you think it is important for women to support one another in programs like Women Build?
I think it's important because it's empowering, it's encouraging. I know maybe if just one person sees my story and we're similar, they have kind of like the same background, same children, single mom, you know, working, going to school. People do it, but it's really hard to do. And you still want to be there to spend time with your children and juggle all these things. I'm going to school so their future can be better. I'm buying a home for their future, you know. So I think it's important for people to see these stories and for the Women's Build to host these events, because maybe someone who didn't know about Habitat or who was intimidated or, you know, maybe discouraged, they'll see my story and say, okay, well, maybe I can do this, you know, and start their journey. So I've always thought that it was important for women to support each other. That's always a thing in work and school, with friends, everything. Women should always support women because it's a really, really important thing. With the exception of my dad, my support system is all women. My grandma, my mom, my great aunt. I wouldn't have been able to do anything I've accomplished so far if it wasn't for my grandma. My kids don't go to daycare. My grandma keeps them. I don't have to worry about them because my grandma has them, my mom has them. They both happen to retire. My grandma and my great aunt both retired the same year as I had both of my sons. So everything kind of just worked out for me with my children. So my support system is, oh my God, really, really solid. And I really, really appreciate them. So to have other women supporting me, it means so much. Buying a home is something you never forget. So having women help me and support me, it'll always be a part of my life.
That's amazing.
And my story and my journey.
Well, they say, you know, it takes a village, right? Especially when it comes to raising children, but in so many facets of our life. And I think women do this so uniquely. To your point, it's not, you know, exclusively women, but I think there's something very particular about our community as women supporting women. There's something very special about that. And I'll tell you too, you know, I was looking at some of our participants who are here today. I will tell you, we actually have some women Habitat homeowners who have joined us here today. So shout out if you're a Habitat homeowner here to support Tracy as she embarks on this journey. And that's, Tracy, one more element to this support network that Habitat creates, right? Is that not only do you have all of these amazing women who we're going to meet today as part of the Women Build 2021 committee, and of course you have Habitat supporting you, but you also have all of these amazing other homeowners who are here cheering you on along the way. So tell me, as we wrap up, once you're in your house, what's next? What's next for you? What's next for your sons? What's next for your family?
So like I mentioned, they're building a brand new school. So I'm excited for Marcus to start at a new school. Since that's our home, he'll be at that school. He can, you know, be stable and established, make new friends. But I'm looking forward to decorating. For my future, I'm looking forward to graduating from a bachelor's degree program. Grayson, he's still 3, so he can just play in the backyard and he's fine. But for me and my future, we're just excited to have our own home.
Tracy, when you graduate, you're going to have to call us so we can cheer
I
you
will
on.
definitely.
We're definitely going to.
I'm also looking forward to participating in the women's bill next year. So hopefully the
You're
family
already
that
thinking about paying it forward. We haven't even started your house yet, and you're already thinking about helping our next homeowner. Only a woman, y'all. Only a woman. I love it. I love it. I love your generous heart. Well, Tracy, listen, we were so excited to have you raise the walls up to your own house in just 4 short weeks. It's going to be here before you know it. We're so excited to see your dream materialize for you. Kudos to you for all of your hard work. This is a product of everything that you've put into it. And so congratulations. We could not be more excited for you.
And I just want to thank everyone, the sponsors, all the participants, and Liz, also Liz. Oh my God, we went to take pictures and Liz was awesome. So
Liz is our phenomenal marketing director who is running the show behind the scenes today and always. And so Tracy, thank you for giving Liz a sweet shout out. She earns all of the kudos. Thank you, Liz. Well, with that said, we're going to turn it back over to you, Carmen. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ms. Blaine. You have a good day.
You too, Ms. Tracy.
What a great conversation. Such a nice treat to get a little bit of insight into Tracy's journey and her family, her sweet boys, her support system. I chatted some stats just so you guys would know some of the really incredible outcomes that come from being in your own stable home. Your children, their performance in school is better. Children's health outcomes are better when they live in a stable home environment. And y'all, it's a blessing for everyone at Habitat to be a part of Tracy's journey and really, lots of other families who come through the program. I also wanted to give a little bit of a plug. Tracy mentioned her son starting in a new school. Dallas Habitat actually has a program called PocketWise Prep. And it's where we provide age-graded, age-appropriate education for elementary school children. We're teaching children, Blaine's team is teaching children at a very young age how to make good financial decisions. The difference between wants and needs, the difference between what savings is versus, spending all of your funding at one time. So kudos to Blaine and her team for dreaming up and really moving forward with PocketWise Prep, which is it's an elementary school digitized financial education program. We are currently at Habitat supporting 6 schools in South Dallas, 6 elementary schools. So if you'd like to know more about that, please reach out to our team or reach out to Blaine's team, and we'd be happy to share more with you about that. It's just another one of the ways that we're strengthening families. Teaching people at an early age to make good, sound financial decisions so that when they do get ready to make a big decision like purchasing a home, then they can be prepared and educated on all of those topics and all of those pieces of information. All right, so it is now my pleasure to introduce you to a couple of members of the Habitat Development Team, Lindsay and Vanessa. And then my friend Bill Deichler, who was actually our top individual fundraiser for last year's Women Build. We thought it was important to give some shout outs to the guys. Bill is an incredible part of our family. He's an incredible part of our core volunteer program, which is our skilled volunteers, And Bill and Vanessa and Lindsay are going to share just some fundraising tips and tricks with you. In case you were wondering how to get started, how do I even do this? Vanessa and Lindsay and Bill are going to give us some great information. So take it away, y'all. Thanks for being here.
The first thing people think about when they look at fundraising is, oh, I can't do this. And that's absolutely wrong. There's many ways to fundraise. I have always found the easiest way is to reach out through social media. We've got great tools with web pages that people can donate across the hot link that you can put on Facebook, you can put on LinkedIn. And if you don't want to do it personally, all of us have friends, and we all know some friends are absolutely metal coated. Nothing bothers them. They'll ask anybody for money anywhere, anytime. So develop a team. It doesn't only have to be you. Through the website, you can develop a fundraising team, and they can all contribute under your name and in your team and raise the funds needed. So if you personally are intimidated, reach out to your friends. If you're personally intimidated to talk to people, use email, use Facebook, use LinkedIn. You'll be amazed how many people that you actually have contacts with. I was just looking at mine today, and between LinkedIn and Facebook, I'm close to 3,000. So it's easy to reach out to a lot of people. Do those posts, do those emails. People will respond if you ask. They'll never respond if you don't.
I love that. Sorry, Vanessa, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh no, that's great. So I'll jump in. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here to share some fundraising tips with you. Although I'd rather be speaking to you in person, you know, one would think virtually would be easier than speaking in front of a large group. Well, it's not. Because speaking in front of a crowd, you can read body language, like feeling my excitement or feeling your excitement, getting some woohoos, or, you know, the watch check, or seeing someone yawn, or worse, dozing off. Anyway, that's not going to happen today. I'm Vanessa Dickerson, and I have the amazing privilege of representing Dallas Area Habitat for Humanity's Development Department and a Women Build Dallas coach. Women Build Dallas is such an amazing event and close to my heart. Strong women empowering strong women means so much to me. It certainly makes the world a better place each time a family can move into their own home. So I wanted to share with you a group I have been working with on Women Build Dallas. Andrea Wilkins and Lindsay Porter are from Jones Lang LaSalle, or JLL Dallas. They head up the Women's Business Network at JLL, and they just launched their fundraising page this week, actually on Monday, which was International Women's Day. For their fundraising efforts, they are utilizing their internal network and via their newsletter and an email campaign. Another amazing thing is JLL will match in funds those that make a donation. A lot of companies offer a matching program, something to think about. They will be entering each person who donates into a raffle for the opportunity to be on the build site for each of the $1,000 they raise. The girl power is strong with this group, and I know they will be successful in their fundraising efforts. We cannot wait to celebrate Tracy, Marcus, and Grayson when they move into their new home. Keep up the great work, y'all, and let's raise some more next month.
Thank you, Vanessa, and thanks, Bill, as well. Those are some really great tips. I'm Lindsay, and my role at Habitat is Development Officer, but like Vanessa, I'm helping serve as a coach for Women Build this year as well. So I'm sure you've all seen plenty of emails from me, and if you haven't yet, they're coming, I bet. I just wanted to share one more story before we moved on to our DIY project and the rest of our pep rally activities, because I think it's always just fun to hear these stories like Bill's, like Vanessa's, and other people who have had success and a lot of fundraising. So I wanted to add one of the stories of our friend Kat, who I saw here on the call, and she's been my inspiration here for Women Build. I talked to her last week because she's been on fire fundraising for Women Build, and I asked her, you know, Kat, how are you getting so many donations from so many people? You know, what is your secret? And she said that she had been emailing some coworkers. She posted the link to social media like Bill had suggested, but what I loved was what she told me is that if she'd ever bought Girl Scout cookies or popcorn from someone's child, or if she donated to someone's birthday fundraiser, they got a Facebook message right away and it was their time to shine. And I just thought that was so great. It's such a fun thought and mindset to have. And clearly it's been a really great plan for her. She's been killing it in the fundraising. So by being proactive and really messaging and being, like Bill said too, getting out there, just getting in contact with people, you never know who might be inclined to give. So now, of course, don't mean to make it sound like you need to blackmail your friends into donating, but it is helpful to remember that, like Bill said again, if you don't ask, they won't give. And so we just really encourage you guys to think of those direct ways that you can reach out to your network. Think of who might join with you, who might help you get closer to that goal. Or if you have not yet started a fundraising page, maybe you're on the fence about becoming a Women Build fundraiser, just think of who might be willing to contribute to Women Build. Who could you reach out to? And we hope that you'll consider starting a page. I really think that we all have more people than we think who are willing to give, who are excited to be involved with causes like Women Build. And all we have to do is get out there and ask. So that's my advice, which I have stolen from Kat. And I just wanted to, before I hand the mic back over, I wanted to add to that if you are listening now and want to start a fundraising page, I am more than happy to help. Vanessa is also available, our whole team here. So please feel free to reach out. And I'll drop a link in the chat really quick after I get off as well. And that'll take you to a PDF of some instructions that'll walk you through how to set up that page. So if that's something you've not done and you feel inclined to do that today, it'll be right there for you guys so you can get that all set up.
Thank you so much, Bill. You are a fearless volunteer and Women Build supporter. You are the best, my friend. And Lindsay and Vanessa, you guys are terrific coaches. So if anybody needs any just tips, advice, thoughts about how to get started, call these girls. They're fantastic and they'll help you get through it. All right, so now's the time we've been waiting for. It says the DIY project. Okay, we cheated a little bit and pre-filmed this DIY instruction video. Lindsay and I actually had the privilege of filming this with Asia Pope, who is one of our volunteer construction project leaders. She's on staff at Habitat. She's fantastic. Her smile is incredibly charming and incredibly infectious, and she's really good at her job. And so Lindsay and I took full advantage of building our DIY kits alongside Asia so that she can help us figure out how to do this. So she's really great. And I'm gonna turn it over to Liz, who's gonna show us this video. If you would, please chat your questions. If you are doing your video or your DIY kit, I'm gonna show you my shameless plug for my Hilti drill. I have my, can y'all see this? My Hilti drill ready to go. So if everybody has their tools ready, then we're gonna watch Asia and Carmen and Lindsay sort of muddle our way, but Asia really strong, build her DIY kit, and then you guys can chat your questions about, thanks Anne-Marie, that is a great looking drill. So if you guys will chat your questions during, and then after the DIY video, we'll also try to answer some more questions. Again, I'm not a construction expert, but we will try to get you through. If the box doesn't fit together perfectly, there may be just a couple of nudging and pushing and scrunching that you need to do. But you'll make it through, and then we'll talk about finishing out the box after we get back. Okay, ready? Everybody got their kits? Okay, here we go.
Carmen Holmes with Dallas Area Habitat. I'm the Vice President of Development and proud partner in the Women Build program. I'm here with Asia Pope, who leads a lot of our volunteer construction crews and volunteers on the build site. We are celebrating International Women's Week, and we're so glad you're here with us. I also have Lindsay from our development team here, and we're gonna build because we don't build alone. We are women, we build together, we have power and strength in numbers. So Asia is gonna walk us slowly through this project. All of you who have your kits because you have either been a sponsor or because you have raised your $500, you're gonna build along with us. But we have sent out the supply list, and you can view this recording later and get your supply list and build your planner box on your own. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the supplies that we have on hand. We have 2 boards that are 1 by 4 inches and they are cut to 12 inches long. Okay, 2 of those are our sides. We have 2 boards that are 1 by 4 inches cut to 4 inches in length. These are going to be the ends of our planter box. And then we have 1 board that is a 1 by 6. Asia schooled me on this. Yeah. It's a 1 by 6 cut to 12 inches, and it is already y'all pre-drilled with these drainage holes. So when you put your plants in here, they'll have a place to drain when you water them. Okay, so those are our supplies. We also have a baggie with 10 screws. These are just little brass screws. I think they are
T20.
They are what?
T20
screws. T20 screws. Yeah. See?
T20.
She's the expert. That's why she's here. All right. And then we also have, Asia has them, but I don't. These are little feet, little felt pads for your planter box. You would want to put these on after you finish the planter box, after you've stained it, painted it, whatever you decide to do to finish it off. And these are to keep it from scratching your furniture or whatever surface it's sitting on. So you have 4 of these.
Right.
Okay,
right.
Asia.
Let's get started.
Let's get started.
Let's get started. All right. So first off, what I would normally do is I would actually put the box together how I would want it sitting up, okay? Just to make sure everything fits before we start adding the screws to it. Okay, so this is pretty much how the box would be. So now it's time to add our screws.
All right.
It really doesn't matter how do you start adding the screws, but I would start off with the longer size first. First, you want to make sure that your drill is on the right setting too. You want it to make sure it's tightening up and not loosening up as you're drilling it. I would flip it over like this.
Okay.
So first off, after you got your board set up, you also want to make sure that this side right here is flush together, okay? I would typically get my screw and actually stick it in a hole. We actually have 10 pre-drill holes. Then you get your drill ready. Take it slow. So the first one is done, all right?
Yay.
So now we just walk our way down. You can flip it however you want to flip it now. Just make sure that the screw is in there properly.
And your screws, they may have a little, if you have pre-made kits from Habitat, your screws are decking screws, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so they have a little bit of a different drill bit. So you'll just have to check in your toolbox for the different drill bit, or you can change out your screws. Just make sure that they're the same length.
Exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, y'all was lit.
Probably not like yours, but
no.
We're good. We're good.
First part is done. Let's do the smaller piece.
Okay.
So same concept. The hole's already pre-drilled.
Okay.
I'll just let y'all catch up.
For a small fee, Asia can come to your house and build your box.
I sure will do it.
Saying,
I do it.
You're
I do
having
it
any
for you.
trouble.
Right. Oh, let me show you a trick, Lindsay.
Ooh.
Okay, so this is what I want you to do. So you see how you got the holes in there already?
Mm-hmm.
I want, instead of holding that board up right now, get your screws and just pre-drill each screw in each one. It's gonna help you out a lot in the long run.
For all of those watching the video, we want them to pre-drill
Definitely.
these last set of screws halfway through the board, but not all the way through.
You can do it for each board too. You don't necessarily have to wait to the end. Now just go ahead and drill. You gotta learn. You gotta learn. Y'all can add this to y'all resume.
Yes.
Y'all put the planners box together.
That's right.
Yep.
Next year we'll be on to bigger and larger projects.
Yes.
Let them know that Asia taught y'all how to do it.
That's right.
This is exactly what your box should almost look like anyway, depending on how you put it together. And what you do with it afterwards is on you. You can paint it, decorate it, have the kids decorate it, have the kids paint it.
And we would encourage you to show us your finished products as well. I mean, we'd love to see them. Maybe you can send us a shout out. You can email them to Lindsay. We can post them on social and kind of show everybody what the DIY projects look like. We'd love to see your finished products.
Okay, what does everybody got for their finished product?
So I made my box.
In my box. It's definitely complete.
Asia's is definitely better.
No, y'all, I was pretty much look the same.
All right, so we're going to show you what a finished product looks like. Asia is putting the finishing touches on her box. These little felt feet that will protect your surfaces. Mm-hmm. So whatever you put the box on top of, it'll be protected so that it won't scratch. You may want to get some bigger ones, just depending on how precious the countertop or the tabletop is. That you want to put your box on top of. We have painted this box, but I would, again, just protect the box with a little bit of stain or lacquer or paint just to protect the wood. All right, and then we got these beautiful succulents. As I finish up, I'll plant these. I'll put some pebbles or maybe even a garden liner to protect the wood inside the box. And I'll put some pebbles in the bottom just to give it a little bit of height. I'll take these out of the plant containers, and I'll just plant them straight in the box. So they'll lay a little bit flatter and a little bit flush on the top of the box. But this is what your DIY planter succulent kit can look like.
Yes.
And Asia,
Beautiful.
you did a great job.
Thank you
so
Thank y'all
much.
for your help.
Great job,
Yeah.
Lindsay.
All right.
Asia, it has
Yeah.
been so much fun to do these planter boxes with you, but I know that your story is much bigger than just today and today's project. Would you mind sharing with our audience just a little bit about your journey with Habitat?
Yeah, definitely. I don't mind. So I've been with Habitat almost 5 years, give or take. And I actually was nervous about working for Habitat because I didn't think a woman could build. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm used to it now, and we can do it. It's definitely a woman's job also. So it's been fun. It's been great.
And Asia, you're the house leader on
Right.
the Women Build New Construction Project
Yes, I
this
am.
year.
Yeah.
And you were the house leader last year.
Exactly.
And we have a couple of really terrific core volunteers who are also women who are going to lead our project starting
Exactly.
April 9th. In the neighborhood of Ideal,
Right.
which is very close to Bonton.
Mhm.
And so we built a beautiful house last year, and
We
we're going to
did.
build another beautiful
Yes,
house
we
for
are.
Tracy Garrison this year.
Yes, we are.
And I'm so grateful for your skills and your talents that
Yep.
you've brought to the table,
Thank you so much.
the
Carmen.
virtual table
I know,
and
right?
the actual physical table.
All right.
So thanks so much.
Thank you, Carmen.
Who is ready to show us their DIY blocks? I cheated. It's like one of those cooking shows where you put the unfinished product in the oven and then you pull out the finished product. So here is the famous white box. I just put the Women Build postcard on the front of it. Martina, Kelly Ann, did you guys build one? What do you think? Hey, there you go. Look at that.
I actually not only built it, there's your Hilti drill. Here, let me see if I can share for 1 second. I'll show you. We actually stained it, and it's
Oh,
outside. So there you go.
how cute is that?
Yeah. So that's a trick. If anybody wants to stain, you can just grab acrylic paint and put it in clear stain. You can stain it any color you want. Super easy.
I love that. So in all full transparency, Kelly Ann, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, this is a lot easier with a Hilti drill.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Error proof.
That's right.
Complete with star bits.
That's
Yeah.
right.
With those star bits. Awesome. Well, ladies, thank you so much for being such great sports. If you guys have additional questions in the chat, please go ahead and chat and let us know if you had any trouble, if you love it, what your plans are. Post event, you can definitely post and tag Dallas Habitat or Women Build Dallas and show us your finished product. Martina, that is adorable. That is so cute.
That was a labor of love with me and my daughter. So
I love it. Well, and what a
Yeah.
great idea to get your kids involved.
Mhm.
Actually,
Yep.
I have to give a shout out to Asia, and her daughter actually put all those little screws in the baggies. So talk about it being a family affair.
Yeah.
We are just so excited. This has been a great day. Again, another fun project. We've never done this before, never done a DIY together virtually before. So thanks everyone who made that happen, the volunteer construction team, the wall shop crew, cut all those cute little kits, and then our junior league volunteers helped get them out. And our sponsors, certainly contributed and have been generous, and hopefully they each got to send those out to their Women Build group. And then we all got to finish a fun project together. So thanks to everybody that was a part of this. And I also want to say a special thanks to Republic National Distributing Company, who provided those cute little bottles of champagne that some of you may have. So we can do our toast to Women Build. I'm also seeing in the chat that says someone asked how to join a group. If you are interested in joining a group for the Women Build, I would suggest you email Lindsay Peterson or Vanessa Dickerson, and they're going to put their email addresses in the chat. You can reach out to them and they will get you started. They can either get you on an existing team, or they can talk to you about our hospitality committee that's helping out with the build site work. picking up lunches, those kinds of things. There's lots of way to get involved, and we would love to have you. So there's a place for anyone and everyone at Women Build Dallas. Okay, well, ladies, do you have your champagne bottles open? Ready to open? I'm gonna go with LaCroix. It's my bubbly, sparkling of choice. Yeah. Very good. Well, if you have your bottle of champagne or your beverage of choice, let's please toast. These have been some amazing virtual events. Today's DIY was a first and so much fun. We're going to post the video on Facebook and on social so you guys can watch that again and build your own DIY project. We've got the cut list, the size boards that you need. So you should have everything that you need if you'd like to do your own DIY project. But Martina, Kelly Ann, would you guys like to say a few closing words?
Well, I would love to. I agree. This has been a fantastic experience, and just the way that we've been able to come together as a community virtually is so exciting. And now that we're going to get ready to be on the site, I cannot wait. And the greatest thing for me today was watching Asia teach, because if anybody's feeling intimidated about putting a team together to participate on the build, just know that that kind of support is around you. And as someone who handles tools, let me tell you, it's not scary. You can do it. So everybody can participate in some way on the Women Build.
I'll just say in my broken voice, thank you all so much for being a part of this. There's such an amazing opportunity to not only lift up Tracy, but lift up hundreds of women in our community on their own journeys to home ownership. And I'm honored to be a part of it. And I hope that you all choose to join us in this wonderful, wonderful mission.
Thank you so much, ladies. All right, so $1,000 raised gets any woman a spot on the build site, or man. I should not be exclusive. We love the men that come out and participate. And really, it takes all of us. It takes all of us working together to lift up these incredible women like Tracy, who are working, they're moms, they're pulling double shifts, they're going to school, they're building just brick by brick a better life for their families. They're building generational wealth for those boys. They're teaching their boys and girls, their children, how to be successful and how to never give up. So cheers to you, Tracy, and cheers to everyone on the call and everyone who is a part of Women Build Dallas. We are grateful for you. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the build site.